Hello everyone, I'm Max Malik, and today I'll be providing you with a case analysis on the Liebeck vs. McDonald's Corporation court case, which occurred in 1992. So before I provide you with a case analysis, I'm going to provide you with a brief history of McDonald's Corporation. So McDonald's Corporation started when McDonald's barbecue restaurant was opened in San Bernardino, California in 1940 by Richard and Maurice McDonald as a drive-in restaurant with a car hop service. And in 1955, the first McDonald's restaurant franchise was opened in Des Plaines, Illinois by Ray Kroc. And in 1961, Ray Kroc bought the rights to McDonald's Corporation from the McDonald brothers for $2.7 million after he was upset with the McDonald brothers' lack of ambition to develop McDonald's into a large company. And in 1975, McDonald's Corporation opened its first drive-thru in history in Sierra Vista, Arizona. I will now also go over McDonald's Corporation's key performance indicators with you. So their sales revenue decreased from about $28 billion in 2013 to about $22 billion in 2021. And their net profit margin increased from about 12.7% in 2005 to about 32.3% in 2021. And their gross margin increased from about 30.9% in 2005 to about 53.7% in 2021. And their income source is from franchising. About 93% of all McDonald's locations around the world are owned by franchisers, and the other 7% of McDonald's locations are owned by McDonald's Corporation. McDonald's Corporation allows individual business owners to buy franchises from them by buying out different locations around the world and renting these locations to the individual business owners. And due to their large popularity, McDonald's Corporation is able to lease most of their properties, often at a very high price, to business owners around the world that are willing to open and own a McDonald's restaurant or multiple McDonald's restaurants anywhere in the world. So the Liebeck versus McDonald's Corporation's court case impacted McDonald's Corporation in the coffee industry because it changed the way McDonald's and other businesses served coffee to their customers. So in areas like Miss Stella Liebeck's hometown, McDonald's lowered the temperature at which it served coffee. So before Miss Liebeck's court case, McDonald's served coffee between 180 and 190 degrees. So after this court case was finished, McDonald's lowered the temperature to a temperature that was much lower, and at all McDonald's locations in the United States, warning labels were placed on their coffee, tea, and hot chocolate cups, and on most drive-thru windows as well. And these warning labels told the customers that these products were hot and they should be handled with care. It was basically used as a way for McDonald's Corporation to show that they cared about their customers, because before Miss Liebeck's case, it didn't really feel like McDonald's Corporation really cared that much about their customers. It seemed they cared more about selling their products to their customers than they did about keeping their customers safe. And then sometime after the case was finished, a coffee cup was invented that had an improved coffee lid and it was not too hot to the touch, and this basically increased the customer safety. So McDonald's Corporation's practices and methods resulted in a violation of U.S. law because McDonald's Corporation was aware that they were serving coffee to their customers between 180 and 190 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a very high temperature. But they never told their customers this information until after Miss Liebeck's incident occurred and like after the court case occurred. And in the past, like in the previous 10 years before the Liebeck versus McDonald's Corporation court case took place, McDonald's Corporation had received over 700 complaints about the high temperature of their coffee from their customers, but they never tried to fix the issues until after the case. Except they just like paid out nearly $750,000 to settle the claims and the over 700 complaints that they received, including some payments that were as large as $66,000. So, McDonald's Corporation argument in the court case was that their coffee was served to customers between 180 and 190 degrees Fahrenheit because it was based on marketing studies that they had found. And Miss Stella Liebeck's argument was that she had spilled coffee on herself in her grandson's car in a McDonald's restaurant parking lot in Albuquerque, New Mexico on February 27th, 1992, and had suffered third-degree burns on her legs and genital area from the spill. And she was in the passenger seat of her grandson's car when the incident occurred. And she had remained in the hospital for 8 days after her incident occurred and underwent several skin surgeries and skin grafts to fix the issues that were caused by the third-degree burns. And the coffee was dangerously hot, and it never had a warning label on it to tell her that the coffee was very hot. So the court's decision favored the plaintiff, which was Miss Stella Liebeck, and she was 20% at fault at the case for the case because she spilled the coffee. Her compensatory damages that she received were $160,000, and the punitive damages that she received were about $480,000. And I agree with the court's decision because McDonald's Corporation should have had warning labels on their coffee cups and their other hot products that warn the customers that purchase these products that the coffee cups and the other cups are very warm and should be handled with caution. Like, they should have done this before Miss Liebeck's incident occurred, because it would have saved them a lot of money, and it would have showed that they cared about the customers. And the court case had also demonstrated that McDonald's Corporation had valued earning money from serving their menu items to their customers more than keeping their customers safe. And so after the case, McDonald's basically made some huge changes so hey, we want to serve these products to customers, but we also want customers who use our products to be safe.